Hello everyone and welcome to Brain Spike. My name's Joe and I'm here to help you out on your journey to knowledge. For returning users, feel free to check out the timestamps I've made down below and go ahead and get started learning. For new users, Brain Spike is an on-the-go learning tool. So if you're looking to study when you're on your way to school or on your way to work, maybe going for a run, going for a walk, Brain Spike is here to help you out with your dynamic lifestyle. So our learning method is as follows. First, I'll give you either a term or a definition, and then there's a pause. Now, this brief silence is not a glitch, it's your moment. So use it to either verbally out loud or mentally to yourself, try to recall the term or definition. Then I'll give you the correct response and we'll repeat. It's a method that's founded on the principle of active recall, which is proven to strengthen synaptic connections in your brain. Compare this to passively reading or passively watching YouTube content, and you've got yourself a simple yet very powerful learning tool here. So with that being said, let's get started.
Welcome to Foundations of Biological Psychology. Let's focus on neurons and the nervous system using term recall. A specialized cell that transmits electrical and chemical signals in the nervous system. Neuron. The extensions from the neuron that receive chemical signals from other neurons and convert them into electrical impulses. Dendrites. The main part of a neuron where information is processed and decisions about firing are made, containing the nucleus and other organelles. Soma or cell body. A long projection from the soma that transmits electrical impulses to other neurons or muscles. Axon. A protective coating of fats and proteins that wrap around the axon in segments, enhancing the speed of electrical transmission. Myelin. The small gaps between segments of the myelin sheath where the axon is exposed. Nodes of Ranvier. The end part of an axon where it makes synaptic contacts with other cells and releases neurotransmitters stored in vesicles. Axon terminal. Protein structures in the membranes of neurons that allow certain ions to flow in and out of the cell, influencing the neuron's electrical charge. Ion channel. The space or junction between the axon of one neuron and the dendrite of another where neurotransmitters are released. Synapse. Extensions at the end of neurons that form junctions with other cells, allowing the transfer of information through the release of neurotransmitters. Terminal branches. Neurons that transmit sensory information from receptors to the central nervous system, allowing us to sense our environment. Sensory or afferent neurons. Neurons that carry signals from the central nervous system to muscles and organs, initiating action. Motor or efferent neurons. Neurons located primarily in the brain and spinal cord that connect other neurons and enhance the processing of information. Interneuron. The minute space between the end of one neuron and the beginning of another. This is where neurotransmitters are released to transmit information to the next neuron. Synaptic gap, or also known as synaptic cleft. The process by which new neurons are formed in the brain. Once thought to be impossible after a certain age, new evidence suggests that this can occur in specific parts of the adult brain. Neurogenesis. This is a lasting increase in synaptic strength between two neurons. It's believed to be the neural basis for learning and memory. LTP, or long-term potentiation. A long-lasting decrease in synaptic strength between two neurons. It's another form of synaptic plasticity. LTD, or long-term depression. The negative state of a neuron when it's at rest, typically measured at about negative 70 millivolts. Resting potential. A sudden, significant increase in the positive charge of a neuron, moving from the resting potential to around positive 40 millivolts, causing the neuron to fire and send its message. Action potential. The principle that states a neuron either fires completely or it doesn't fire at all. There's no partial firing. All or none principle. The short period after an action potential during which another action potential cannot be initiated. Refractory period. The level of stimulation required to trigger a neural impulse. Threshold. The process by which the negative internal charge of a neuron becomes less negative, typically due to the influx of positively charged ions. This is a crucial step for generating an action potential. Depolarize. Refers to signals or actions that increase the likelihood of a neuron firing an action potential. They typically result from the flow of positive ions into the neuron. Excitatory. Contrary to excitatory actions, these signals decrease the likelihood of a neuron firing an action potential. They usually result from the outflow of positive ions from the neuron or the influx of negative ions. Inhibitory. The process by which an action potential jumps from one node of Ranvier to the next, speeding up transmission down the axon. Saltatory conduction. A term used to describe a membrane that allows some substances to pass through while blocking others. In the context of a neuron, it's essential for maintaining the difference in electrical charge between the inside and the outside of the cell. Selectively permeable. Supporting cells' responses and structures. These support and nourish neurons, remove waste, and enhance the speed and efficacy of neurotransmission. Glial cells, or glia. A layer of fatty tissue, segmentally encasing the fibers of many neurons. Myelin sheath. An automatic, involuntary reaction to a stimulus, often serving a protective function. Reflex. The ability of neural networks in the brain to change through growth and reorganization. This process is fundamental for learning, memory, and recovery after brain injuries. Neuroplasticity. Small membrane-bound sacs within the axon terminals that store neurotransmitters and release them into the synaptic cleft when the neuron fires. Vesicles. Neurotransmitters. A neurotransmitter vital for both the central and peripheral nervous systems. In the brain, it plays a key role in attention, arousal, and memory, while in the body, it stimulates muscle contraction. Acetylcholine. This neurotransmitter is associated with the brain's pleasure and reward system. It plays a crucial role in mood regulation, motivation, and motor control. An imbalance can be linked to conditions like Parkinson's and schizophrenia. Dopamine. Predominantly found in the gastrointestinal tract, blood palates, and the central nervous system, this neurotransmitter plays essential roles in mood regulation, appetite, sleep, and even the clotting process. Imbalances can contribute to mood disorders such as depression. Serotonin. Often associated with the body's fight or flight response, it plays a role in alertness, arousal, and regulating mood. In some cases, imbalances can be linked to mood disorders. Norepinephrine. The primary inhibitory neurotransmitter in the brain, its primary role is to counterbalance excitatory neurotransmitters, helping to regulate anxiety and stress. It's crucial for modulating behavior, cognition, and the body's stress response. GABA. The primary excitatory neurotransmitter in the brain. It plays a key role in learning, memory, and synaptic plasticity. However, excess amounts can be neurotoxic and may contribute to diseases such as Alzheimer's. Glutamate. Atoms or molecules that carry a positive or negative electric charge due to the loss or gain of one or more electrons. They play a crucial role in transmitting electrical signals in the nervous system. Ions. The neuron that receives neurotransmitters after they cross the synaptic cleft. It often leads to a change in the electrical state, either excitatory or inhibitory, of this neuron. Postsynaptic neuron. A molecule that inhibits the action or effect of a neurotransmitter. Antagonist. The process by which neurotransmitters are taken back into the synaptic vesicles. Reuptake. A feedback mechanism where the neurotransmitter's level is monitored and controlled by the neuron releasing it. Autoreception. A molecule that increases the action or effect of a neurotransmitter, while the opposite inhibits the action or effect of a neurotransmitter. Agonist. Refers to the neuron that releases neurotransmitters into the synaptic cleft during synaptic transmission. These neurotransmitters then travel across the gap to interact with receptors on another neuron. Presynaptic neuron. Natural painkillers produced in the brain that are released during stress or physical injury and are similar to opioids in their abilities and give a feeling of well-being. Endorphins. Nervous systems and divisions. A major part of the central nervous system which conducts sensory and motor nerve impulses to and from the brain, responsible for reflexes and some autonomous functions. Spinal cord. Comprised of the brain and the spinal cord, it's the control center for the entire nervous system. Central nervous system. Consists of all the nerves and fibers outside the brain and spinal cord. It connects the central nervous system to the rest of the body, allowing it to communicate. Peripheral nervous system. a division of the peripheral nervous system that controls voluntary actions and transmits sensory information to the central nervous system. Somatic nervous system controls the involuntary functions of our body, managing those actions we don't consciously control, like digestion and heartbeat. Autonomic nervous system, a branch of the autonomic nervous system that prepares the body for intense physical activity and stress, commonly referred to as the fight or flight response. Sympathetic nervous system operates during relaxed states and helps to restore the body to a calm and composed state, often termed as the rest and digest system. Parasympathetic nervous system, hormones and the endocrine system. Responsible for regulating sleep cycles, this hormone signals to the body that it's time for rest. Melatonin. Located in the pelvis, these glands produce eggs and hormones like estrogen and progesterone. Ovaries. A pair of male reproductive organs that produce sperm and hormones, including testosterone. Testes. A glandular organ in the digestive system that secretes enzymes to break down food and hormones to regulate blood sugar, such as insulin. Pancreas. 4 small glands located on the posterior of the thyroid gland. Regulates calcium levels in the blood. Parathyroids. A hormone produced by the adrenal glands that prepares the body for fight or flight by increasing heart rate and directing energy to muscles and the brain. Adrenaline or epinephrine. Also known as norepinephrine, this hormone and neurotransmitter is involved in the fight or flight response, raising alertness and preparing the body for action. Noradrenaline. Located in the neck, it produces hormones that regulate metabolism and energy levels. Thyroid gland. Situated above each kidney, these glands produce hormones such as cortisol and adrenaline, which help the body respond to stress. Adrenal glands. Produced by the pancreas, this hormone helps regulate blood sugar levels by promoting the uptake of glucose into cells. Insulin. Released by the pituitary gland, this hormone stimulates growth, cell reproduction, and cell regeneration. Growth hormone. Produced by the ovaries, this hormone plays a significant role in the menstrual cycle and pregnancy. Estrogen. A hormone primarily produced in the testes, responsible for the development of male secondary sexual characteristics and the regulation of libido, muscle mass, and bone density. Testosterone. Commonly known as the stress hormone. It is produced by the adrenal glands and is involved in various body processes, including the immune response and metabolism. Cortisol.
All right, everybody, that wraps it up for today's video. I hope you found it useful and valuable. If you'd like to continue learning, feel free to restart the video, or be sure to check out the description down below where I've probably left some links either to delve in deeper into today's topic or just for your own benefit and for your own knowledge. If this is a foundations video, I might have made an advanced version of this topic already. If this is a term recall, I might have already made a definitions recall video, and vice versa. If you have any other questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below. I'll be sure to respond. And if you're signing off, well, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.